everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Powerful Stuff. You guys, what a week it's been. It's been the Lionsgate portal this week, which if you're just tuning in now and you missed my Instagram live this week, it is the most powerful day of the year to manifest. Allegedly in astrology, because it's like the sun aligns with this star Sirius and it opens this portal. I'm not really sure, as I said in my Instagram, but why not manifest on that day? Why not do the thing? Because how great would it be if it actually worked out? And each day in our life, like that we use to vision on what we're ready for and to feel gratitude for what already is a day well spent, if you ask me. So this week for the Lionsgate portal, the LGP, as I like to say, I did a sweet little Lionsgate portal thing first and foremost with myself. And this was 8/8, August 8th. I did a Joe Dispenza walking meditation on my barefoot beach run. And I like to start each manifestation or Lionsgate portal, like being grateful for what I've already manifested that year, being grateful for the things that I have manifested, like all the exciting events that I've been doing with Powerful Stuff, like my amazing 8-person upgrade container, an amazing festival wedding with my husband this year, amazing trips that I've been on, good health for me and my family, and which is not to be discounted, because health is the biggest richness. And we really only notice it when we're in poor health. So not one to, take for granted. So, anyways, felt grateful for what already was and then tapped into like, what do I want? And sometimes it can feel daunting because oftentimes when our brains are like overwhelmed by a question, we, it can feel very vague or it tries to run in a bunch of different directions, but it's continuing to come to like, how do I want to feel in the future? And even if you don't know about that perfect job that you want or that pivot that you want to make, how do you want to feel? I want a relaxed nervous system. I want to wake up feeling inspired. I want to be around people who plan other adventures. So yeah, spent the Joe Dispenza meditation, tapping into the feeling, and then actually like doing things on my perfect day, like that would put me into that energy right then, such as going on the beach run, such as calling a friend, such as hanging out with friends that night and doing a cozy little Lionsgate portal, such as playing my guitar. And, if I want to be performing more, like how can I just play it more that day? And so starting to get into the energy of that and then making that ideal scene. Spencer and I made an ideal scene together about our, kind of future year and read it back to each other, which was so sweet. And I know he's so tired. Usually by 10 p.m. he's like, time for bed. I'm sleepy. But he knew it was important to me that we did it on Lionsgate portal. So he stayed up till midnight on Thursday, which was pretty crazy for a school night. And then Friday was amazing because we had a Powerful Stuff live. We did something around manifestation. And we also did, we had people perform. So I kind of told the audience these tips that I'm just telling you now about being grateful for what it already is, tapping into the feeling, trusting the, energy of it and trusting the vibration, dropping expectation around how or when or in what form your manifestation will come. So we talked about that at Powerful Stuff Live. Then I had a few musicians and comedians perform to get everyone laughing and present. And then actually all the audience attendees, excuse me, guys, I am drinking an adaptogenic beverage. And I just had a little something in my throat, but yeah. So then I had all the audience members turn to each other. If I was to write something about my manifestation, what would I write about? But in the form of a creative outlet, like whether it's a story or a song or a poem. And after they discussed it with people, then I gave the entire audience 3 minutes to be silent and just write it out on their own phone notepad, like this poem or this representation, kind of like how I wrote my song, Calling in You, about calling in my soulmate. And then I had audience members stand up and actually declare it to the universe by taking the mic and sharing it with the rest of the audience, which was so powerful, guys. Creativity is an amazing form of not just processing past emotions and making peace with them and owning your voice, but also like songs are incantations, poems are incantations. So if you can tap into like how you're feeling in a song or a poem and like let that come through you and feel like you're channeling that, like that is a gateway to what is to come, which is amazing. And so all of that's to say, gosh, I wanted to tell you guys my own Lionsgate portal story. Kind of tied in with, I guess it's like, creating and like being a fearless creator. And so I might have mentioned to you guys that I did a Powerful Stuff event the other week where I combined my coaching and my comedy, kind of like made fun of the spiritual world, but laughed at it and with it, but also respected it because obviously I'm in the spiritual world. I lead ceremonies. I am a coach, but I'm also not afraid to laugh at the intricate morning routine or the things that we do here in Venice Beach. And I believe laughing is a advanced form of spiritual practice. So I'm going to tell you this story and then we'll really get into the juice of today. But today, before I get more into the story, I want to say if you're listening, this episode is for you to start fearlessly creating and to start owning your platform and to start like allowing yourself to be fully seen and embracing the visibility that comes with that, and the fears. And so I'm going to just it'll be kind of a little anecdote today, if you will. So I, did this really funny thing with my friend Aliki, and it was comedy. It was also coaching. It was satire, but we did a full moon ceremony, and Aliki posted a, clip, on Instagram on Lionsgate Portal 88. And, on the clip, it said like POV or manifesting using numbers, like angel numbers, like 333 or 88, or how like every like spiritual healer's like, you can get my course for like $333.33. Angel numbers are like a whole thing here. And I actually like can't tell you more why. This is a note to myself to like go look into it more. But we did it as a joke. And at first, like, our other Venice Girlies clips that we post on Instagram, people are usually like, oh my God, haha, this is so funny. This is so me. I resonate, like, LOL, we can all laugh at ourselves. And, the clip was like starting to go viral. And, I was like, yay, like one of my Lionsgate portal manifestations is like calling in being seen more, using my platform more, combining my coaching and comedy more. But, as Spider-Man said, with great power comes great responsibility. And how much power we wielding on the internet is anyone's guess. But so I was like, oh yay, like going viral on Lionsgate portal. Let's go. Like this is a sign, a wink from the universe. Like I'm on my path. Keep sharing the stuff that I'm doing IRL. Keep sharing my like funny messages online, hopefully funny but impactful. And then all of a sudden, like the algorithm pushed it to like, more of a hateful corner of the internet, I would say, like of men who are very like put off by the spiritual world, and we're calling it witchcraft, and like a bunch of cuckoos live in Venice, and like these are probably crazy single cat ladies who haven't even manifested a husband. And it started like getting all these notifications of this like dark energy on my phone. And this isn't my first rodeo. Like in high school or college, I was a writer. And so sometimes people would comment on my articles in the Houston Chronicle or at the Harvard Crimson, like, not nice things. And, once I like, so I've been through it a few times before, but not in a very long time. And, it was a funny moment because at first I was like feeling like I was absorbing all of this dark energy, and I was kind of like triggered. Like I felt my cortisol levels spike, and I like, what theoretically the best thing to do in those situations, and this is why I'm sure a lot of celebrities don't read their comments, is so they don't absorb these energies, because these comments don't matter. And they oftentimes, especially when they're just spreading hate, it's not even like expressing politely a difference of opinion or whatever. Like they're just kind of sitting alone at home looking to take their anger out on the world through your video, and then finding community in the comments of other people spreading hateful things as well. And so it's like I subconsciously knew this, but without kind of taking a breath to collect myself, I was like, oh, and like having a few days break, I wouldn't respond to the comments. And I found myself responding to a few of them being like, actually, this is satire, or just like sending you love, not anything kind of like snarky, but just kind of like giving it energy. Right. And getting a little defensive, I might say. And so also, God bless my husband. He came to my, defense on the Instagram comments, and he was like responding back to those comments. Like one guy was like, I bet they haven't manifested a husband. And then he responded, have you manifested a husband? And then someone was like, oh, they need the demons exorcised out of them. And Spencer just wrote back, you sound lovely. Anyways, he was kind of like trolling the trolls, which was funny. I had a really good laugh about it, which was a great comedic relief. But I was texting back and forth with Aliki about it, and it's like, and kind of talked to a few friends about it on Lionsgate Portal, because right, it went viral. My manifestation or my wish came true. It's like my most watched video ever. It's about to break 1 million views. Thanks to Aliki posting it and her beautiful editing skills and putting it out there on her already hilarious platform. But Aliki reminded me, like these comments don't matter. They're ships passing in the night. And actually kind of like what I say to my clients, when we have our shadow side act up, for example, like if we kind of fight back, it's like a kid throwing a temper tantrum and it sees it's getting energy. So then it does it even more versus just like gently letting it be. And so it was such a funny moment of like reminding myself not to give these comments energy and to like focus on all of the good and the gratitude from it. And like, oh, great. It got people talking. Oh, like that's so funny that people didn't know this was satire and they feel so worked up about it, and like sending them love that they're sitting here on a Thursday commenting something hateful to someone they know nothing about. And it was a interesting moment. The thing that I flipped around it for myself was like, I said I wanted a larger platform, and this is a test, right? Because like as we said with the Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibilities. Like, the more we are seen, the more we do step into things. And as a creator, the more we throw things against the wall and see what sticks, or do parodies or just put our voice out there, right? Like the more other people will comment on it. And like as any public figure is commented on, or influencer or celebrity. And so it was like a good reframe for myself to be like, this is a test for me to allow those things to roll off my shoulders, not give them attention, but also like return to trusting in my heart, trusting in the energy that I put out, trusting in the content that I put out, knowing not everyone's going to like it. And if I want a larger platform, it's going to come with the territory. And so it was a great reframe of like, actually my Lionsgate Portal, manifestation is coming true, in the sense of it is going viral, and it's giving me an opportunity to practice that non-attachment right now, to practice that return to love, to practice that, regrounding in the trust of who I am and my intention. And like those who get it, and those who don't, won't. And it was just funny too, because it was like such a stark contrast between that video on Instagram and like the one on TikTok. And for whatever reason, the algorithm on TikTok, everyone's like, this is hilarious. Is this like an SNL skit? This reminds me of Portlandia. Oh my gosh, like the satire is spot on. And so I was just like, those who get it, get it. You don't need to explain it to those who don't, or who are choosing not to see it, or who are going to be riled up anyways. It's like that same kind of perspective of like, if people aren't going to listen, or they're going to be combative, or they're looking for a fight, like don't give them energy, and reinvest that in like the places that feel good and the places where you do feel safe and seen. But you can't stop creating, or you can't stop using your voice just because some people are going to try to bring it down or darken your light. And yeah, it was just like a really great way of like reclaiming that narrative versus like earlier in the day when I was getting riled up, probably commented a few more times than I should have, just like sending you love, like even though it wasn't bad, but just like responding at all. Right. Anyways, guys, so now here I am on the other side of that. And obviously that's like a very micro example, like one clip going viral on Instagram, but it was a reminder for me, like, as I do want to step into like having a larger platform, to like noticing what that brings up in me, and to like having my own practice of returning to my own trust. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to go through a little step for you to step into your fearless creator and to get that dirt off your shoulders, to let it roll off your shoulders so you can actually start creating. Because a lot of us hold back our creative gifts because we have a fear of being seen. We have a fear of being attacked or judged by people we do know, by people we don't know. And honestly, when we are judged, right, it says more about the other person than it does us. Because if we're focusing on our side of the street, then our side of the street remains clean versus like kind of caring what other people are saying and how they're maintaining their own yard in perception to you. So I want you to think of something that you're ready to create, or something that you're ready to be seen in. And maybe it's like me, kind of with this platform with powerful stuff. Maybe you have your own podcast you want to put out there, or songs, or maybe you want to be seen in a bigger way at work, or even like it could be like in dating, right? Like really like being your authentic self in all areas, if before you felt like you kept some things under wraps or quiet, and really like thinking about what that is. And then I want you to imagine like what the feeling would be like if you were fully expressing, if you were fully creating. Like, what is that feeling? How would you feel creatively expressed? What is that dream vision? Maybe even pause this recording and like write down like that like 15 out of 10 vision of you creating. And like, I would be putting out songs every week. I would have a whole different like, musical artist persona that would talk about X, Y, and Z, and I would wear a wig, like just like write all those crazy ideas down, crazy good, not crazy in any sort of bad way, but like crazy, wonderful, expansive. And how would you feel being in that? I would feel like fulfilled. I would feel like my throat is fully open. I would feel like butterflies coming out of my chest, whatever it might be. And maybe even draw a picture of that version of you who is fully expressed. It's fun to get out the crayons or the markers and just like draw out what that looks like. You fully expressing yourself. And then once you're really tapped into that full energy and you're like, yes, this feels so good. We're going to rewind it back. So where are you right now? Why are you blocked right now? What are your fears? And I want you to write those fears down. And I'm all about bringing our fears to the light so they lose their power over us. My fear is that, kind of like me, like, right? My fear is that I'll get trolled and then people will think I'm like weird and they'll stop following me and all my friends will talk about me, or my, like, the people that I'm dating, if I show them this side of myself, like they're gonna like be like, oh, of course, that's why they're single. And then I'm never gonna find anybody. But just like let these fears speak, write them out, get them on a paper, and just like notice them. And try to take it to rock bottom. Like after you write one fear, then ask yourself, and then what? And then after you write the next part of it, and then what? And then what happens? And then what after that? And like get it to rock bottom to where it might even feel like ridiculous at some point. Right. And it's like for mine, it's like, and then they troll me and then I lose my followers and then I'm canceled. And then I, like never can post again or whatever it might be. And after you look at those fears, just allow yourself to feel that for a second. Feel it in your body. How does it feel to let those fears kind of be in the driver's seat? Does it make you feel like there's a constriction in your throat? Does it make you feel like there is, knots turning in your stomach? Just feel it and breathe with it. And as you're breathing with it, just kind of reminding yourself, like, I'm safe to breathe with this feeling. I'm safe to breathe with this feeling. And after you've kind of really let yourself dial it up, imagine placing your hands, or actually place your hands, don't imagine it, actually do it. Place your hands on that part of your body and just like pull out that anxiety, pull out that fear, pull out that like gunk, whatever it feels like, and just like rub your hands together, transforming it. I love doing this because I feel like it's a visceral activity of like transforming our fears of that stuckness or fear of being seen. And then just placing it, this like new heat, this new energy, this new transformation, back into your body, imagining it like bringing like golden light of like all-knowing protection and all-knowing expansion of your voice, breathing it into whatever part of your body you pulled the fear out from, and sending it down to your toes, sending it down to your fingertips, sending it up through your throat, sending it up out of the crown of your head. And from this place, kind of looking at those fears and just writing yourself a letter of times that those worst fears have in some ways come true and you were okay. Times that, like, for instance, I would write like, "Dear Meredith, I totally makes sense why you have a fear of being seen," right? Validate those feelings. You don't have to validate like that fear is like the truth, but validate the feelings that your inner self is having. So like, "Dear Meredith," I might write, "Dear Meredith, like, it makes so much sense that you have a fear of being seen. I know like when you were a writer for the Houston Chronicle or the Harvard Crimson, or there was a thing that happened on Reddit, with like a photo of you as an intern where people were commenting on your tan and how bad it looked. And that really sucked. And that was really shitty that it happened. And you were still okay after. And like your true friends, your family, like everyone knew your heart. And it breezed over in a few days. And the amount of impact that you've already had from sharing your voice far outweighs the like impact of those comments, right? Like the power that your words have had in a positive way. And the articles that you've written and the reels that you've posted have far outweighed those comments that you've received on those things that actually had nothing to do with you, right? And everything to do with the person posting it. And I promise, Meredith, that like I will keep you safe, that I know your heart, that I'm not going to abandon you or judge you, that I'm not going to give energy to these people, that I'm going to value and trust your integrity and your heart more than these comments of random people that you don't even know. And I trust that like by you being seen and continuing to deliver this message of like self-empowerment and connection from the inside out, it's so important. And even if that means that like some people are going to say negative things, like that's such a powerful message and that is your purpose. And I'm really proud of you. Love, Meredith. Okay. So that was my little letter to myself. Gosh, guys, I feel so good already. So much better. Thanks for listening. But now I want you to write one to yourself, like addressing those fears. Reminding yourself of times that it might have happened before and it sucked, but you got through it. It breezed over. And then reminding yourself like of all of the important things that you have to share. And like, what is the cost if you don't share those things? And how good will people feel once you do share those things? And then reminding yourself like that you know your heart and that you're not going to abandon yourself just because someone else says something about you that they don't even know. And once you write that letter, like don't stop until that inner voice in you feels like safe to like fully let it out, And then once you do write it, I would recommend reading it back to yourself out loud, getting your actual voice like heard, hearing yourself speak and letting your voice be heard. And then after you write that letter, guys, hopefully what we've done already, just to recount, is like we've stepped into like, what is that fullest expression of you who's creating look like? How does that feel? And then where are you not doing that right now? And why are you not doing that? What are the blocks and what are the fears? And then giving that inner version of yourself, right? It always comes back to the inner child, that reassurance that you've gone through it before, you can go through it again. And like why your unique message is so important and how it can serve as a beacon for other people. And then from that place, from that letter, what is something that you can do this week that steps into that fearless creativity? Is it, posting that first clip ever of you singing? Is it posting that first podcast episode? Is it sharing something that maybe you, that you love to do, but maybe you've held back from sharing, with other people or on dates for fear of judgment? What is that one thing that you can commit to doing this week and to facing your fears and to, kind of setting the like energetic protection of like, I'm going to put this out there, and regardless of someone else's response, I'm going to be proud that I put it out there. Right. And I've talked about this before. And I really like how this one guy in our Venice community, Kevin, phrases it. Cause he actually has a podcast called Inputs Only. But it's like inputs versus outputs, right? Like being happy that you did the input, that you did the thing versus like the output, like as in people's reaction or response to it. Because when we know our heart, we can reaffirm that, when we can slow down the conversation and remind ourselves of that, that is when we can create anything, right? No one cares or is thinking about us as much as we are. And when we remind ourselves that we unconditionally love ourselves and we're not going anywhere, that's when we can actually take more creative risks. And I love how Osho phrases it too. Where he has this book called Creativity, and it's like imagining yourself as an empty vessel through which your creative projects pass. And once your creative project passes, like from the universe through you into the world, it's like, it's also no longer even yours. It's out in the world, and, other people can receive it in the ways they want to receive it. And your job is to remain that empty vessel, like that fearless creator, where you just get to be completely present and hollow, create the thing, release it to the world, create the thing, release it to the world. Then whether it quote unquote does bad or good by whatever metrics, you did your job, which was to be the empty channel for that, to remain present, to remain in integrity. Okay, guys. So let's just do a little meditation. And we're just going to start by, one of my friends, Reslo, who performs at a lot of our Powerful Stuff events, he likes to start off by tapping because it gets you into your parasympathetic nervous system. And it's just a great thing that his voice teacher, Kate, who's now also my voice teacher, taught him. So we'll just start off with a little tapping. So closing your eyes, and by tapping, I mean lightly pressing your hands against your chest, going down all the way to your pelvic floor and up by your heart, and just tapping in a clockwise motion, feeling your hands against your chest, feeling the sensation of your fingers on your skin. And then reverse, go counterclockwise. Feeling your breath slow down, and then tapping the back of your traps, up the back of your neck, around your throat, and then down your arms, and then around your head, around your eyes, around your temples, around your jaw, and then down your thighs, down your shins. And then just shake out your arms and maybe even make a sound. And then take a deep breath in and exhaling it out. Another deep breath in. And as you exhale, sinking into your seat and just coming into the area of your hips, which is where our creative energy is stored. And breathing into that area in your hips, sending golden light there, imagining any tension completely softening. And as you feel it softening, imagining that golden light rooting down, going through your root chakra into the earth, rooting you into who you are. And as it creates this solid foundation, nice and relaxed, then imagining the golden light starting to shoot up and swirl up, like activating your belly button, your solar plexus, your personal power. Feeling your own unique power tap on your self-assuredness. Feeling it swirl up and touch your heart, deepening your connection to yourself to pull out this beautiful creativity, deepening your connection to others. How would that look like? How would that feel like to be tapped in to your full connection to yourself, seeing all sides of yourself and then seeing all sides of others? And then how would that give you even more assuredness as this golden light swirls up and opens up your throat, completely relaxing your neck, opening up your throat? What words would you speak with more conviction or sing? What would you speak to yourself and to others? And then swirling that empowered voice up to touch your third eye, your intuition, and then up and out the crown of your head. As you feel fully lit up and activated in every energy point in your body, imagining like you're this beautiful golden hollow vessel now. Whatever you're ready to create, imagine it passing through the crown of your head, down through your third eye, down through your throat, down through your heart, down through your belly, resting back in between your hips. This thing that you're ready to create. And imagine it being supercharged with this golden light. But it's like this entity that's about to come out of you. It's like it's brewing inside of you. You're growing it. How does that feel, to feel this excitement building in you around this thing? Maybe it's something that you're ready to put out into the world, or maybe it's just an idea that you've been tinkering with. Feeling it grow and light inside of you, energizing you even more. How does it feel to really give this 100%? To feel fully in flow with it? How does it add to this creation? And how do you feel even more proud of it, to fearlessly create it? Feeling like there's no blocks in the way. You're so sure that this is exactly what you're meant to be putting out into the world. And then as this creation, whether it's a song or a poem or something else, grows to its most mature size, ready to be birthed out of you, just asking it what it needs from you to fully do it justice, to put it out into the world. What next step does it need you to take? Trusting whatever it says, and then asking your own internal self, your own inner child, what they need from you to feel safe for you to fully put it out fearlessly. Reassuring them as well, letting them know that you love them unconditionally. You're so proud of them for putting this thing out there. And then imagine birthing this thing into the world. Imagine it kind of coming out of you in all directions, just this radiant energy, this beautiful creation. And imagining seeing people that you know just uplifted by it, inspired by it, catalyzed by it, activated by it. Imagining it touching people you don't even know, feeling like it gives them permission to step even more into their own creativity. And imagine how you feel about yourself after, like relaxed, proud of yourself. It's no longer eating away at your thoughts, wondering what if. And just imagining as you put it out there and people feeling inspired, just almost like double clicking on that energy, feeling that even in this vision, as you look around and maybe see some people who don't like it or who try to take it down, it just feels so small to you that you're able to just blow it away like a little dandelion. Just blowing those little things away because it's so overpowering all of the good that it's bringing into the world. All of the good overpowers everything. Really sealing this in. Feeling it in your bones. And then taking a deep breath in and exhaling it out. Another deep breath in. And exhale to return to this space. Welcome back. Oh, I cannot wait to see what you are creating. Please let me know what it is. I can't wait. If it's a poem, a drawing, anything, send it to me. I would love to celebrate you. Or tag Powerful Stuff if you post it online so we can come be your hype people. But yeah, to recap, guys, first answer the question, what would it look like to be fearlessly creating? How would I feel? How would that creation feel? How would it uplift the world? And then the second thing is, what is the block? What are the fears to doing it right now? And let me take those fears to rock bottom. And then the third thing is writing yourself that letter, reminding yourself the times in the past where maybe those fears came true and you were still okay. And also reminding yourself of the cost if you don't share this thing and why it's perfectly divine timing that you were meant to share it. And then last but not least, as always, take action on it this week. Go do it, put it out there in the world. And whenever we take action on it, right, it's like relieving our creative constipation. So when we have ideas that live inside of us that we don't act on, or we just talk to people about, but we never do, it's like literally like stagnant energy inside of us. And then it gives us a reason to feel bad about ourselves because we're like, oh, I'm just all talk and I'm not going to do it. Even though if we're like procrastinating, or maybe it's not the right time, or that's what we tell ourselves at least. The truth is it'll never be the perfect time. But as we put these things out there, we prove to ourselves that our voice deserves to be heard. And I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. Thank you guys for listening today. And if you have a friend that's been talking to you a lot about their creative projects, but they haven't taken action on it, or you think is super talented and they're feeling blocked, send them this episode. Let them know that this is their sign to let it out, to let it in, as the Beatles would say. And a few other little announcements. Would love to see you guys, if you live in LA, to come to our free Monday morning, best morning ever, which is yoga, meditation, journaling, breath work, all before 8:30 a.m. on Mondays. And also lastly, I am taking a few more one-on-one clients the next few months before I go on vacation. So if you missed my group coaching program and you're like, wanting to go deep on how you can start living from your most authentic self, from a place of relaxed confidence, supercharged with your own powerful stuff, you can send me an email, me@themeredithbaker.com, and we can set up a time to have a discovery chat. Okay, guys, that is all from my end. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week for more powerful stuff. Hey, you. Thank you for coming on this powerful journey with me. I hope it was as powerful for you as it was for me. And if it was, it would mean the world to me if you rate, review, and subscribe to Powerful Stuff so I can keep bringing you the goods. We can keep going on this transformative journey together. And if there's powerful stuff that you want to share with me, with the Powerful Stuff community, tag us on Instagram @that'spowerfulstuff or the Meredith Baker. And I look forward to seeing you next week for more powerful stuff.